And joining me now, Niger, Innis, national spokesperson for the Congress on Racial Equality, and Tammy Bruce, Washington Times columnist and Fox Business contributor. Great to see you both. So,
hi, guys.
Niger, let's talk about something that happened last night. A lot of people, you're not seeing it in the mainstream media, that's for sure. Last night, Antifa, the radical left-wing outfit that follows through on what a lot of Democrats are kind of advising people to get radical, they attacked the Republican headquarters in New York City. They did damage. They left some of their Antifa symbols, et cetera. And they said in a note attached to their damage, they said, this is merely the beginning. And again, it's the same week that Eric Holder and Hillary Clinton said that if you disagree with somebody, you don't have to be civil with them. You can do this kind of stuff. Do you see any connection?
I absolutely do. I mean, you have not had leaders, a former First Lady and Secretary of State, a former Attorney General, actually encouraging this kind of mob recklessness, violence, anarchy since, yet again, the Democrats at the end of the Reconstruction period, when the Ku Klux Klan was a mainstream organization within the Democratic Party. In fact, some call it was the military arm of the Democratic Party that was that not only tried to, but was successful at disenfranchising newly freed former slaves that were virtually all Republican and getting them kicked out of the legislature, intimidating black votes. You want to talk about real voter suppression, not the phony voter suppression that Democrats talk about today. That's what was going on back then, and it was because you had leaders encouraging and actively being involved, and that's what Hillary and Eric Holder are doing right now.
They're encouraging mobs, and Tammy, you know, even to use the phrase lynch mob, a lot of people don't like that, but it doesn't. Lynching was not just reserved for one race; it was reserved for anybody that a mob felt deserved to be deprived of any judicial process. And that's essentially what Hillary Clinton's talking about when you say you deprive people we disagree with civility.
Yeah, look, a great analogy there between the end of Reconstruction, right, the beginning of Reconstruction and what's happening now is the kind of a last desperate gasp of people with ideas that have been rejected, right? That we are moving forward, that we want more freedom for people, that we have an economy that is doing well, and yet they don't have any ideas to be able to counter that. And so the difference is then is that they resort to issuing threats and wanting and encouraging and endorsing chaos. The problem, of course, is you also have to take into consideration the context. They're saying these things while violence has taken place. Attempted mass murder, an attempted stabbing, letters with the wrong ingredient for ricin, beheading videos being sent to the wife of a senator, the doxing of senators from the Judiciary Committee. So we've seen that people are on the edge. Rand Paul noted that he was concerned that someone was going to get killed. Now, it seems like Hillary and Mr. Holder don't care. We had, of course, Mrs. Obama say this was not right, and it was not the right way to go.
Heidi Heitkamp called Hillary's comments ridiculous. Right. So there are some mainstream Democrats trying to separate themselves
from that. They're not leadership, and it even troubles me more because it seems to be obvious to some leadership, but leadership of the Democrat Party in general is not coming together to say enough is enough, because this is going to go off the rails.
Niger, I want to talk for a moment about Kanye West. We don't often talk about Kanye West, and it's not so much what he said in the Oval Office. We knew he supported Donald Trump. It's the reaction to him being in the Oval Office. Some of the worst slurs you can possibly think of being used to describe his behavior in the Oval Office. What do you make of all that?
I think it's disgusting. I think it is, if any Republican or conservative uttered that kind of language against a celebrity, be it Taylor Swift or one of these, legion of Hollywood celebrities that support liberal causes, they'd be called racist, sexist, homophobe, et cetera, et cetera. They're called that anyway. And, the two are not really unrelated. What we talked about earlier in terms of encouraging mob violence and this desperate attack against Kanye West. And what it is Tammy's is spot on. The Democrat Party has run out of ideas, and Shelby Steele wrote a wonderful book saying that the organizing principle and foundation of the left these days, with the civil rights revolution being successful, with women's rights going much further than they were 100 years ago or 50 years ago, for that matter.
But you've got
with all the advances being made, the only organizing principle they have is hate. And here's the desperation.
Let me just add
hold on
one
a
thing,
second,
Niger.
because we got 30 seconds. I want Tammy to.
I want to
wrap
remind
this up.
people that one of the core elements of what Mr. West is being accused of is mental illness. That is classic of what the left and tyrants have always done to their opponents: declare them insane, and then they get disappeared. It's amazing how you see the same pattern occur. And that has been the overall accusation against him, and not even a subtle implication, calling him disturbed. And this is, we should reject it overall.
By the way, you guys probably remember,
remarkable.
It's exactly what the Soviet Union used to do to dissidents.
They'd
call,
make you a non-person.
They'd say that since we're a perfect institution, the Soviet Union, the communist Russia is a perfect institution. If you disagree with us, you've got to be crazy.
That's right.
And they'd lock people up in insane asylums for the rest of their lives.
That's the nature of the left. That's what they do, and that's what today's, it's horrible. I'm a Democrat. That's what today's Democrat Party is doing. It is certainly not the party of John F. Kennedy, is it? Not anymore.
Time for one answer from both of you. Are voters going to react negatively to all this? First to you, Tammy.
They already are. We've already seen that. Every poll says so. And certainly what I see on social media, this is a huge disaster. The Kavanaugh hearings was huge.
Niger, 5 seconds. Go ahead.
Watch the black male vote. That is going to lead the black vote to break up the monopoly within the Democratic Party.
Good stuff. Niger
Excellent.
Innis, Tammy Bruce. Great to see you both. Thanks for being here.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.